Please rise in honor of recognition of playing national anthem. Now ask everybody, please kindly remove your hats. First, the visitors, please welcome the Nor'easters from the University of New England. And here's starters for tonight's game. At guard, we're number 3, Sadie Gasson. At guard, we're number 4, Abby Calao. At guard, we're number 5, Justin. And that's forward, we're number 33, Katie Dior. And you're ready to defend the UNE. This is and now it's down to the home team, the pass game. Please welcome to the court. The Raiders from Milwaukee School of Engineering. And here's starters at guard. We're number 2, Greta Greta. At guard, we're number 5, Amy Reiser. At guard, we're number 10, Nikita Dahl. At guard, we're number 24, Wendy. And at guard, we're number 34, Danielle Valley.
Welcome courtside as we get ready for the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic from Las Vegas and the South Point Arena. That is right, 10th year in existence of this event. I'm Dave McHugh. We are getting things started with our first game of what will be 16 on the docket this weekend. Over 4 days, we will get to enjoy these games. There are just 2 tonight. There'll be 4 tomorrow, 6 on Sunday, and 4 on Monday. This is a women's battle between the University of New England Nor'easters, who enter at 7-2 from Biddeford, Maine, coached by Anthony Ewing. They'll take on MSOE, Milwaukee School of Engineering Raiders. They're 4-4 out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Their head coach is Hannah Trees. New England is in the road black uniforms with purple numbers and white trim. MSOE in the home whites with a maroon, red, and trim. UNE will be moving right to left. And MSOE left to right. As we're underway, we'll get you our officials in a moment. Head official just tipped it up. It is Tim Resch, it's Gary Horkey, and Vince Chrisosik. I botched that, but we'll get it anyway. Rebound and basket put back. 2 quick points there for UNE as Bayor with the rebound and putback. As we'll get our graphics up for tonight's game is underway. Thank you for joining us here at the D3Hoops.com Classic. Turnover on the full court press. UNE coming the other direction. Pop shot no good from Nelson. Nelson feeds inside to Sanborn. The ball goes out of bounds, and it will remain with the Nor'easters. Nor'easters 7-2. I would argue on the outside looking in at the top 25. certainly could argue they deserve to be in there, but this weekend will help them as they will turn it over there on the bounce pass on the out by Sanborn. She was trying to hit. Shot put outside and missed. Again, full court press here from the Nor'easters. Getting across midcourt does MSOE, and this time getting into the offensive set for the first time. Three-pointer on the near wing, no good for Michaela Dogs. Rebound collected by Gravold, and they'll reset the offense. Three-pointer, top of the key, missed by Wendy Gaughan. And we'll head back the other direction. Still 2-0, UNE the lead here as we are underway early here in the Classic. And the ball goes out of bounds off the hands of Bayor. Bayor out of South Burlington, Vermont, 6'3" freshman forward. Tallest player either team has, as Milwaukee School of Engineering, MSOE, has nobody above 5'11". Full court press again underway. Break it into the corner. Skip pass near side. Three on the way for Dogs, no good. And an easy rebound. UNE will set up the offense. Man-to-man defense from MSOE so far. Rebound collected by the Raiders, and they'll come back the other direction. Their head coach, Hannah Treese, in her first season. Treese taken over after Katie Nelson left the program in the offseason. Nelson, if you might recognize the last name, the daughter of Bill Nelson, who retired from Johns Hopkins a few years ago. And the long alley layup there for Gaughan, and MSOE has its first 2 points of the contest. It is 2-2. Up, no good. MSOE with another rebound. So 2-2 early in this one. 7.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Swing it to the far side. MSOE trying to set up. Now in the hands of Gaughan. The Taipei, Taiwan native dribbles it off of her leg and out of bounds for UNE, who will sub in 2 players. Ashley Conyers, the 5'11" senior guard out of Dover, New Hampshire, comes into the game. Also coming in is number 54, Katrina Krenzer, the Nottingham, New Hampshire 6'1" freshman forward as well. Steal at the top as Gravold got it. Now they'll come up quickly to the Engineers. Bounce pass inside, trying to hit Reiser. Skip to the near side, shot airball too long by Valley. Easy rebound for the Nor'easters. They'll come with pace, quickly up ahead, inside, kick out. They'll reset from here. Quick shuffle by Grenzer. She passes it off. Top of the key, pump fake by Chaput. And now they'll reset the offense with Conyers with 10 seconds left, and now in the hands of Cavallo. She goes for the long three with 3 seconds on the shot clock and misses it. Once again, I'm Dave McHugh. I'll be joined later in the Classic by Pat Coleman, Gordon Mann, and Ira Thor. Pump fake, drive, got stuck, nowhere going for Valley. And UNE takes over again. We'll take a look at how these two teams have entered this on their records in a moment. Nice little running shot there for Chaput. And UNE has its second basket of the contest. Now leads 4-2 with under 6 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. UNE in a man-to-man defense. Almost a matchup zone-ish type defense, really. They're switching off a lot on the baseline. Shot by Gaughan was no good. Rebound collected by Valley, and a foul on the rebound is going to go against UNE. Grenzer picks up the foul. That's her first, team first. So MSOE will get an inbounds play underneath the basket. 5:43 remaining. Pass inside, shot with the left hand. Off glass, no good for Dogs. And another defensive rebound for UNE. Skip pass, near side, wide open three. Plenty of time, baskets for Nelson. Sadie Nelson, the Windham, Maine native, buries the three, and it's a 7-2 lead now for Nor'easters, and great hustle getting back on defense by Connie's as she's able to deflect that out of bounds. I apologize on some of the pronunciations. We are still scrambling here a little bit today to get this broadcast on the air. It's a long story, folks. Wish I had a better excuse. Eight seconds on the shot clock. MSOE in trouble here. Reiser trying to do something. Gets it to the elbow, and a basket by Valley. Good job by Valley there to hit that. We'll update the scoreboard. It is 7-4. UNE the lead on MSOE. Pass to the elbow. Now kicked out to the wing. A little shuffle step and drive by Chaput, and hits the basket. 9-4 the lead now. Extending back out to 5. And that full court press remains for UNE. Near trap here on Gone. Able to get out of the trouble temporarily. On the near wing, 8 seconds on the shot clock in the hands of Dogs. Dogs turnaround, throws it off glass, does not catch rim. Finally corralled by MSOE. Under 4 to play here in the first quarter. UNE, the 9-4 lead, kind of an up and down game and a little bit sloppy from both teams as they're the first ones out of the gate. Three-pointer is buried, though, as UNE opens up its biggest lead at 12-4, and it's a timeout, 32nd timeout called by MSOE. Gives us a chance to reset things just a little bit here for these two programs. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying it. If you're broadcasting, feel free to let us know on Twitter. You can use the hashtag D3Hoops, of course. We are on air and enjoying every moment of this one as we are under air for the first of 16 games this weekend. Here from Las Vegas. Again, UNE out of Biddeford, Maine, has had a solid several years under Anthony Ewing. 7-2, as we said, as a full court press is causing problems again for MSOE here. Another near turnover. Their two losses in the season to Tough, 76-45. Number of teams have lost to them. And Bowdoin, 72-46. That's teams number 1 and number 3 in the nation right now in the D3Hoops.com top 25. And they've lost by similar scores. Long three is good as MSOE gets the big shot on the board. Good shot from them. UNE has wins over Regis, Southern Maine, Becker, St. Joseph's of Maine, Wentworth, Endicott, and Salve Regina riding a 2-game winning streak in years. A blocking foul called on the shot by Dogs. They will get George Fox in their next matchup. That will be even more challenging as George Fox, number 9 team in the country. That'll be 3 top 10 teams in the first half of the season. Is gone. We'll take a break. On the line is Dogs. She hits the first free throw. We'll update our scoreboard in a moment. Missed the second, so we're 8-12 here with 2:55 remaining in the quarter. MSOE 4-4 on the season, lost their first 2 out of the gate, Lake Forest and Milliken, then won 2 in a row against Rockford and Marion before losing to Loris 92-30. Loris has been an interesting team early in this season to get a foul on the floor. Alverno and Illinois Tech were 2 wins in a row before losing to Aurora in conference play. So they've lost 2, won 2, lost 1, won 2, and now lost 1, and now taking on New England here as we inbound the ball. Shot blocked by Valley on the initial attempt there. And MSOE will come the other direction. Less than 2.5 to play here in the quarter. Find themselves down by 4, but on a 4-0 run here. Nice pass inside. Valley with the up and under, and it's good. And out of the timeout, MSOE has rallied to cut the deficit to within 2 and nearly get a steal in front of their own basket. Coach Trees almost got run into on that play, and they will sub. Coming into the game will come Lexi Maruga, the Anamosa, Iowa native. UNE will reset here with 20 on the shot clock. Of course, the difference in the men's game and the women's game is shot clock in these scenarios. Nice inside, but missed the shot was Nelson. MSOE comes up with the ball, nearly stolen right in front of us, and up ahead. And that's going to be a hip check on the layup and count the basket. Gravold has tied the game and has got a chance to go to the line here to put one more in. Guan will return to the game for MSOE. And into the game for the Nor'easters, Beyer returns. And Elisa Nicholas, a Southborough, Massachusetts native, 5'7" junior guard, enters the game for the first time. MSOE looking for the lead and has it 13-12. They are on a run here of 9-0 after UNE took a 12-4 lead. Timeout called, and the Raiders have responded. Handoff off the elbow, and that will temporarily end the run in the lead as Chaput hits the layup. Inside, foul called. And we'll get another chance at the line here, this time for Dogs again. Anthony Ewing in his 13th season for the Nor'easters, by the way. First shot is good. Looking for one more. Tie ball game, can they make it 2? Cannot, we're stuck at 14 now. 1:10 remaining to go in the first quarter. Looks like Emmanuel's women's basketball team has entered the building to watch. Nor'easters looking to try and regain the lead here. Top of the elbow. Beyer, nothing but net. Beautiful shot from the free throw line. 47 seconds left. Nearly turned over in the backcourt, corralled nicely by Gravold before then dribbling it out of bounds, and that will go back to UNE. Possession arrow, by the way, in favor of MSOE. We should point that out. Inside layup, no good. Foul called, though, on the effort by Chaput. Jocelyn Chaput, one of the 2 captains on this team, along with Sadie Nelson. Chaput will go to line here to shoot. We'll have 2 with 32.8 left and hits the first. Extends the lead out to 3, 17-14. With 32.8 left. Second one up and good as well. 18-14 the lead for the Nor'easters after a 9-0 run. Gave MSOE the lead. They now find themselves down by 4 as UNE has returned the favor. 22 seconds left. There's about a 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. A reminder, game clock has the extra 9/10 of a second when it hits 0. It's a foul called on the effort by Gravold. Well, the shot clock, the moment it hits 0, will sound. So there's actually a difference there. Foul called on Beyer. That's her second. So that's team's 5th. No matter what, it's 2. But Gravold shooting 2 no matter, because it was a shooting foul. Missed it. One more coming. 15 seconds left in the quarter. and hits the second, so cuts the deficit to within 3. Back in the game comes Krenzer, and she will replace Beyer with her 2 fouls. We'll see when Beyer will come back into this contest. 12 seconds remaining, 18-15 lead for UNE here. The Nor'easters got up 12-4. Floater rims out for Chappett, and that will sound the end of the quarter. So good effort by MSOE to get back into this one. And at the end of the first quarter, it's New England 18, MSOE 15. Back with more after this. Welcome back as we get ready for second quarter action here between the University of New England and Milwaukee School of Engineering. MSOE will have the ball coming out of the break, trailing by 3. They trailed 12-4 in the first quarter and rallied. These two teams got to get used to one thing, that's for sure. The officials do not waste time at all coming out of breaks. They want things moving and going, and we will move and go here as we are back underway. And over and back called on Gone. She got the ball and then stepped over the line with her back foot. It's almost like you see on the sideline with a player getting the ball on the sideline before attacking the rim, and their back foot that they put backward goes over the line, losing track of where they are. You don't see that often, and that'll be a traveling violation on UNE, and we'll go back the other direction. 9:45 left to go in the second quarter. I'm Dave McHugh. You're watching the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic from South Point Arena in Las Vegas in conjunction with Sport Tours International. Our first of what will be 16 games as Dogs hits the deck going over midcourt. Looks like she might be a little banged up as she was a little slow to her feet and to get back engaged. Ball out of bounds will go back to MSOE as into the game comes Abby Cavallero. I did not do such a great job with Cavallero's name earlier on. Hope you're enjoying this wherever you're watching. Thank you for tuning in as we are underway. 2 games today. There'll be 16 in total. 2 today, 4 tomorrow. 6 on Sunday and 4 to wrap it up on Monday. Into the corner, 3-pointer on the way. No good for Dogs. Rebound and then behind the back there by Cavallero. Inside pass, and there'll be a foul called on Valley. MSOE only has 9 players on their roster, and they only have 8 on the bench. Oh, no, that's 9. I apologize. Reiser comes back into the game. We'll give Valley a break. We'll get you stats here in a bit. And a traveling violation called, another turnover for UNE, and now an injury. We were just talking about having a short bench. Gravold is holding her left ankle and is not comfortable as the trainer from South Point will come out to take care of that. You don't see it on your screen, but she is off to the left. And while she is being attended to, we'll take a break as well, at least just a moment away from the broadcast until we can return. Rayvold was helped off the court. She is somewhat putting weight on her left ankle, which is a good sign. We'll keep an eye out on that as we welcome you back into the D3Hoops.com Classic. As we're back underway. MSOE with the ball and tied up. It will go to UNE. So that jump ball will reset the possession back to UNE and so forth. 18-15, we've been stuck on this one for a while here. So far in this one, UNE is shooting 7 of 17 and MSOE shooting 5 of 14 just in this contest, as that is another turnover for UNE. That is turnover number 7. Now both teams with 7 turnovers in this contest. Nor'easters with a bunch of them so far recently. Knocked out of bounds will remain Engineers ball. Correction, Raiders ball. And continue to take a look at Grayvold at the training table. She certainly was in a lot of pain and distress, but seems to be a little bit more comfortable now as the trainers continue to assess. Guan tries to skip it over to Samantha Brown, who's into the game. A 5'5" freshman guard from Illinois. Goes out of bounds off of a Nor'easter hand, and so Raiders will have possession. 8:18 left to go here in the quarter. Oh, that one off the foot. And so UNE will get the ball back, and they will go back the other direction. 8:10 left. Far side jumper is good for Kresner. And our first score of the quarter, 5-point lead now for MSOE. Correction, for UNE. And a foul in the backcourt. Picking that one up on the aggressive press is Sierra Tartar. That's her first foul and the team's first. Again, I'm Dave McHugh. You're watching the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic from the South Point Arena in Las Vegas. Had this event here all 10 years. Oh, nice pickpocket there by Cavallero. She's trying to go the distance and foul, but from behind by Dogs will allow her to go to the line here for 2. Heck of an effort, if I do say so myself, on the pickpocket. Into the game for the Raiders comes Mickley Miles. And into the game for the Nor'easters, I think I saw Chappett return and Nelson, but I need to double check. First free throw is good. 6-point lead, not the largest, led by as many as 8 before a 9-0 run gave MSOE the lead. There was a violation on the free throw, but UNE hit the free throw, so it will be waved off. And now a 7-point lead. UNE got up by as many as 8, 12-4, and then MSOE called timeout and went on a 9-0 run. Nice scoop shot by Dogs, cuts the deficit to within 5. Again, MSOE's in the white, UNE in the black uniforms. I got a report from Down East Maine this evening or today. Ice storm up there as a traveling violation will turn it over yet again for University of New England. That is turnover number 9 in this game. Both teams with 9 turnovers. But again, an ice storm at least in Down East Maine. I'm not sure what it was in Biddeford, but I'm pretty sure the Nor'easters are glad they got out of town when they did. Slicing and dicing through traffic there and attempting to get to the basket is Reiser. Jump ball, and that will go back or remain with MSOE with 14 seconds on the shot clock currently. They changed the rules on the shot clock, and I always forget, and I don't believe that will change, and it will not here. There was no change in possession. Reiser being harassed by Cavallero. Turned over yet again. Turnover number 10 for the Raiders. Neither team playing all that well. Skip pass, three-pointer, airballed near side. Unfortunately there by Tarter, the Kennebunk, Maine native. 6:15 remaining in the quarter, or in the half. Depending on how you look at it, 22-17 lead, and a long jumper by Dogs, and cuts the deficit to within 3. Raiders will not go away. Talking to Emmanuel's head coach, Yosinoff, about why he thought the Raiders were better than advertised. Three-pointer far side, left short. And that entire Emmanuel team in attendance to watch this game. UNE will get George Fox next, but MSOE will play Emmanuel in this tournament. Good ball movement. Dog fakes on the 3, drives in, scoop up in, does not fall despite the foul call. Cannot go her way, but she'll go to the line for yet another effort there. She is currently 2 for 4 on the day. Into the game for the first time, Faith Connors, the North Andover, Massachusetts native, 5'5" junior guard, enters the game for the Nor'easters. Nor'easters with a very long bench. MSOE down to 3 as their main point guard, Gravold, continues to be attended to on the far sideline after rolling her left ankle. Not sure if she's going to get in. Dogs, 1 for 2 at the line, and now 3 for 6 on the day. Cuts the deficit to within 2. 5:15 remaining. UNE trying to get some offense going. Seven seconds on the shot clock, deflected out of bounds. UNE will hold on to it with 5:05 remaining in the quarter and 5 seconds on the shot clock as we get the ball and get ready to inbound it here. Up top, got to shoot quick here, down to 2. 3 rims out for Cavallero. Under 5 to play, MSOE dealing with this pressure from the Nor'easters pretty darn well. Though they didn't start, a little bit of a contact there. Ends up being thrown away, and UNE, who is unable to take advantage of these turnovers so far, will attack, and a foul will be called this time on Miles, the Salem, Wisconsin native. I'll say one thing. Not surprising that both teams get a lot of their players from around the region, but the one thing that jumps out about the Raiders is the fact that Guan comes from Taiwan. Shooting 2 will be Chapit, and hits the first. Pat Coleman now joining me alongside. Sir, welcome in. Glad you got off the airplane. All right.
I did get off the airplane. That was great.
That's half the battle sometimes.
The airplane got me here, mostly on time and everything.
Mostly on time sometimes is better than on time. Better rate, at least. Full court press. MSOE struggling, but finally getting across timeline with 18 left on the shot clock.
I can imagine that with the point guard out.
Yeah, well, even Gravold's had some problems, but yes. They've had to rely on Guan, but Guan has struggled, and she stays on the bench currently. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Skipped all the way to Dogs' far side, 3 left short, and that will be a shot clock violation at the worst. You know, Pat, I'll venture to say it as I look up at our brand new scoreboard, which is
bright,
amazingly bright and clear. That's the end that's tough to see, but because of the depth. But even UNE's had trouble down here on the other end. I think both teams are struggling just with being the first game out after breaks.
Well, I think once upon a time, too, MSOE played in the arena that the Milwaukee Bucks play in. I don't know if that's still the case.
Oh, three-pointer just after I said something.
There you go.
Of course, Chapit buries the 3 and extends the lead 26-20. Again, not their largest. They led by 8. And Chapit getting a little greedy. Trying to go for the steal. No, gets it that time, though. That was well-timed. Refs allowing it, too, which they're consistent. Chapit, the drive, off glass and in.
Consistent over the majority of 10 years, right?
True. 28-20, the biggest lead UNE has had in this contest.
Well, so if people who cross over from D3 football to D3 hoops may recognize the last name of Britta Gravold.
Yes.
Yes, who's older brother was a D3Football.com All-America
I was gonna say,
quarterback for
not
UW-Whitewater.
Not too bad a quarterback for Whitewater.
He did all right. He had multiple picked off multiple passes in the playoffs one year. Basically helped will that team to a Stag Bowl.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Yeah.
That so I know that I understand that there's a large number of that family here from Norway, Michigan, which I think is, if it's not in the UP.
I have to look that one up.
It's
It's another jump ball, and then we'll go stay with MSOE.
Oh
no, apparently it's going to UNE, so I apparently had it backwards. So forgive this graphic on your screen, folks.
Graphic forgiveness is
Norway,
in full effect.
Michigan.
That's the one.
You got me intrigued. I must look up, as they say.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's right on the border of Wisconsin.
Oh wow, it's basically Wisconsin.
Yeah.
3-pointer left short by Cavallero. 2.5 minutes left in an interesting game, to say the least. Live stats tells you that UNE shooting 42%, as Guan is struggling to get this across the timeline. And MSOE is shooting 39%.
But 13 turnovers.
But the turnover battle is the problem. At least UNE has solved it, as they just turned it over for the 14th time. Rebounds are equal at 13 apiece. There's a block each. 9 steals for the Nor'easters of those 18 turnovers. I'm sorry, of those 14 turnovers. I tried to add some. So a challenging game so far for the Raiders. Kick out. Faked it. Did Chappett. Now in the hands of Connors. Connors made her presence known. By the way, I'm going to... Ball will stay with 7 seconds left on the clock for UNE. I'm going to say bad sign for Gravold fans. I see ice on the ankle. Oh, shoes going back on, though. Socks and shoes. So maybe just icing it, see how it feel. 2 minutes left. I just ice it through halftime. But.
Right, exactly. Put on the socks and walk to the halftime locker room.
Yeah. Forced the shot there in a sandwich by Nelson. And a foul right at the shot clock buzzer on the rebound.
Yeah, Sanborn put it back up, and then basically got bailed out, because that was a doomed exchange right there. But she's going to get 2 shots out of it.
So Sanborn goes to the line to try and extend this lead to the largest of the game. Cannot on the first, and we're going to see Alyssa Cazares for the first time, the Bolingbrook, Illinois native, 5'10" freshman forward, as MSOE is going to have to use everybody. I do see the athletic trainer has come over to talk to Coach Trees. Now the biggest lead of the game for the Nor'easters. Trainer trying to be subtle. She's got Gravold on the bench. Gravold's putting her shoe back on. With 1:50, she'll report to the assistant coaches. Hopefully Gravold can come back in. Fun to watch her play. But a lot of pressure on her all the same, as Guan is blocked, and then the rebound in an attempt by Miles results in a foul call.
Well, this is one of the things I like about this event is you've got, the coast of Maine, and you've got Milwaukee.
Yes.
These are schools that are never going to see each other
match
up. And then you also have, you mentioned it, UNE facing Emmanuel, and those are, that's the closest major metropolitan area to UNE is Boston. So you get a little bit of everything. They come all the way here to play a Northeast region game.
Isn't MSO? I thought. I'm all confused.
Emmanuel's in Boston.
No, that's not it.
I was just going by what you had said.
I might have flipped what I meant to say.
It's on the
I meant to say that MSOE would be playing Emmanuel.
Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah, Emmanuel versus MSOE.
And New England against George Fox.
That's
which
what
is
I was
what it
trying
should
to
be.
get
There
at.
we go.
Yes, thank you.
Geographically diverse.
Did not get that right. MSOE did get 2 points there, so it's 29-22. Ball out of bounds, UNE ball. By the way, Gravold's back on the bench. Now the shoe's back off. The ice bag's back on the ankle, so.
Elevated.
Yeah, it's well.
You can see her,
relatively speaking,
center.
Yeah,
top
behind
of your
Coach
screen.
Trees there. Yeah. So hopefully at halftime they can reevaluate and get her in. But I will admit she was not happy, very much in distress, as another turnover coming the other direction in the hands of Gone. One gets rid of it out of the double team nicely to Reiser. That UNE defense is swarming. Yeah, they're going to pick up another foul there on the shot by Miles.
Yeah, so is this what it's been like?
I mean, the only difference was at the beginning of the game, UNE looked a little bit more together on offense. MSOE needed a timeout to come back from 8 down on a 9-0 run, as I mentioned. Got the lead, 13-12. And that was the last time they had the lead.
Well, I know we're not going to see them on these shots, but I like the banners. I wish.
Oh, the banners are great.
Wish we had been consulted on the names of teams.
I think they usually go to others about that
No,
stuff.
I don't think so. Mud Scripts, nobody ever says
Oh,
Mud
no,
Scripts for
right.
Claremont.
No, you're right about that
Nobody
one. I
says
missed that one.
Nobody says New Jersey for New Jersey City.
Well,
I walked in, it's
I
like,
try.
TCNJ's at this tournament? That's not right.
Oh, good point on that one. I missed that.
It's the first thing I saw.
Yeah. I forgot about, yeah, I didn't see Mud Scripts either. That's unfortunate, especially with the CMS logo right below him. By the way, there was another foul.
I know, sorry. We're
Don't worry, I'm still getting up on terms here. We had
first game of 16.
I got to thank Larry Radloff for bailing the broadcast out. We had a technical glitch thanks to a false advertisement by a retail salesman.
Okay.
So we needed to go run and get a piece to make things work. Less than a minute to play. Got on air properly.
Good. I got the notification
that's
while
always
I
good.
was getting my baggage.
That's
I was like, hey, all right, we're on the air.
we were.
And it was
we
at
did make
5
the air.
of. That was great.
We actually made air.
That was awesome.
Not all the bells and whistles we wanted, but you don't know that, people at home.
Well, now that Dave just told you.
Yeah. Well, trust me, we got some more fun as you continue to watch this broadcast
Shot
throughout
clock
the
8.
weekend. Yeah, shot clock down to 6. Oh, how'd she feed that through a bunch? I'm not exactly sure how Chappitt got that to Connie's, but did. Congratulations.
Yeah, me either, Dave. It was like, I think everybody was probably under the impression that she was going to put the ball up, especially with the clock ticking down. She decided to take the extra pass, and everybody was caught flat-footed on the MSOE defense on the inside.
Connie's misses the first. Free throw shooting, not exactly everybody's forte right now. Check out free throw percentage for UNE before that one, 7 of 11, and for MSOE, 8 of 13. So now UNE is 7 of 13.
That's lower than you would like.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
54% or so.
17 seconds left in the half. MSOE trying to get a shot here to cut the deficit. Guan pump fakes on a deep 3, down to 10. No shot clock.
Nice.
Her other shot swatted. Rebound collected somehow by Miles, and a traveling violation called with 3.6 seconds left.
No, I thought for sure that was going to be a jump ball, but in all honesty, man, she just did a good job collecting the basketball, too far underneath the basket, and just could not get herself back in position. Couldn't control the ball enough to kick it out to somebody else either.
Guan forced the shot. The opportunity here for Chappitt. Throws it on the run.
Oh,
That one right over the backboard.
that would have been good from 47, but she shot it from 38.
I thought it had a decent chance.
It was on. It was
It
online.
was. But at halftime is UNE leading MSOE in the battle of all initials, 30-23. Speaking of technical glitches, we don't have all of our commercials set up, but we will take a break. You'll get to enjoy this for a while. We'll be back, get you ready for second half action in our first game, the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Remember, join us on Twitter at D3Hoops, at D3Hoopsville as well, and hashtag D3Hoops. Hope you're enjoying the D3Hoops.com Classic. Back with the second half.
Back out here at the half of the first game of the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Our halftime score, University of New England leads Milwaukee School of Engineering by the score of 30-23. Here with the halftime stats. Starting off from the MSOE side of the ledger, Michaela Doggs leading the way with 10 points, 3 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 5 from downtown, 3 for 6 from the foul line for her 10 points. Also with a game-high 5 rebounds. She's drawn 4 fouls, and she's turned the ball over twice and committed a pair of fouls herself in 15 minutes and 57 seconds. Then you go to Britta Grayvold, who spent the last 9.5 minutes or so of the first half on the bench. She has 4 points and 3 rebounds, 1 of 1 from the floor, 2 for 3 from the foul line, an assist and a steal. And we will, of course, remain to see whether she can take the floor here in the second half. Danielle Valley with 4 points for MSOE on 2 of 3 shooting. And then you go down to Mikkel Miles off the bench with 3, Wendy Guan with a pair, and Amy Reiser, Samantha Brown, Lexi Maruga, and Alyssa Cazares played and did not score for the total of 23 points. 7 of 20 from the floor for 35%, 1 for 7 from beyond the arc, just 14%, 8 of 13, 61% from the foul line. They out-rebounded UNE 17-13. They turned the ball over 16 times compared to 9 for the Nor'easters. And on the Nor'easter side, they're led by Jocelyn Chapin. She played all 20 minutes and did well. She scored 17 points, 6 of 7 from the floor, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, 3 for 4 from the foul line. And then you go all the way down to Kaylee Bior with 4 on 2 of 3 shooting. And then it was Sandy Nelson with 3, Katrina Kenzer with 2, Abby Cavallero with 2, Madeline Sanborn and Ashla Conies with 1 apiece for the total of 13. Faith Connors, Alyssa Nicholas, and Sierra Tarcher played but did not score. Shooting totals, 10 of 24 from the floor for 41.7%, 3 of 11 from beyond the arc, 27%, 7 of 12 from the foul line, 58%. Mentioned the rebounding edge goes to MSOE through the first 20 minutes, 17-13. Handful of players with 2 fouls on each side. For UNE, Bior with a pair, Conies with a pair, Krenzer with a pair. For MSOE, which is already playing short and maybe a little bit shorter if Grayvold cannot take the floor here in the second half, it's Doggs with a pair of fouls, 2 for Valley as well, and Maruga off the bench with 2 fouls here in the early going. MSOE did lead late in the first quarter, but it's kind of been all UNE ever since. They lead by 7. They led by as many as 9. They've had the lead for 17.5 minutes. As we get you ready for the second half of action, Britta Grayvold on the floor, taking warm-up shots, so we'll see if she can go. Grayvold, of course, the 5'6" junior guard out of Norway, Michigan, one of just 9 players suited up for MSOE this weekend. I go through Keith and then Frank and then I get to Dave, who earlier mentioned that UNE.
I need to get back out to football.
Who earlier mentioned that UNE has a significant bench presence here this weekend. We mentioned first of 16 games as well. This game will be followed by a men's game tipping off at, just 11 p.m. Eastern time, no big deal. 10 p.m. Central, which is where Central College and the College of St. Scholastica hail from.
By the way,
game will follow this.
Shout out to Ryan Scott, who's tuned in. He said at best halftime show, or really said really been enjoying the halftime show of the Classic, watching me eat an In-N-Out burger at the bottom right of the screen. Didn't realize I was on screen, Ryan, or you wouldn't have been watching me. I applaud that you realized it was an In-N-Out burger, though he may have cheated and seen that on Slack.
I think we communicated that in a place where he could see it. So Grayvold back into the game. She's going to inbound it right in front of us.
That's awesome to see.
And MSOE is going to attack the basket to our left here in the second half. And for the second half action, we'll send you back over to Dave McHugh.
As soon as our officials are ready.
Yeah, I can do that. Yep.
As we are underway. Back on and underway. Back going the other direction now. MSOE in the white jerseys with the maroon numbers and trim. Moving right to left across your computer monitor. They have possession, which means it will go back to UNE. Nice jumper by Guan as we come to this side of the floor, and she hits a beaut right there to start things off, cuts the deficit to 5.
Well, I mean, that's what they need to do, right? Of course, they need to not give up the easy basket on the other end where Bior just right there underneath for 2. Of course, she's 6'3", right? That makes it hard to guard.
Yeah. It's all
and
player on the
especially
floor.
right there on the blocks. Feder in perfect spot. Everybody makes that shot.
Nothing against Bior, though. I do want to go stand next to her.
Well, that's fine. We see if you can stand up straight. That's more important to me.
Fair. 6'2.5" when I can go straight. And I'm just curious because I'm not sure if Bior is really. I mean, maybe she is. We just know that numbers can be.
You know,
inflated.
people are allowed to put almost whatever they want on a roster. 5 to shoot.
Gravor looking good on that drive. Kicks it over to Dog. Shot it with 1 on the shot clock. Guan just missed it.
Yeah, got rim, but unfortunately, MSOE unable to corral the rebound.
Gravor doesn't look like she's gotten any extra tape.
No, I agree. You know, just maybe a little bit of rest, a little bit of elevation, and, you know, maybe she'll be paying for it later. I don't know.
Yeah, 3-second violation. Yeah, very likely. I mean, it's also sometimes getting over the initial shock of an injury sometimes, too.
Right.
And just getting yourself kind of back on and going. Turnover yet again, Pat, as you pointed out earlier, tons of turnovers.
Yeah, I mean,
this one.
Right, and especially MSOE without one of its primary ball handlers on the floor, that doesn't help. And there's a long shot that is airballed and saved in the hands of UNE. So that obviously doesn't help. And UNE was doing some good work with the pressure that helped them get that lead in the second period.
3-pointer good as the first basket for UNE.
Nice shot by Cavallero there. You know, just
second basket. Sorry,
nice,
10-second.
Nice open shot there on the wing.
10-point lead, the biggest of the game for the Nor'easters. As MSOEs might need another timeout. This is how the first half started somewhat in the same way. And that MSOE struggled on their end and UNE was hitting on theirs. Got out to an 8-point lead. Timeout called by the Raiders. They went on a 9-0 run out of that. We mentioned Guan thought the cut was coming high for Dogs, and Dogs rolled back towards the lane, and Coach Trees looks on. Mention again, Coach Trees in her first season after Katie Nelson departed the program in the offseason. Double dribble violation. How about the hedge there on the defense by Reiser? She went flashing out towards where that pass was going, and it completely shook Chappett into the turnover.
I mean, yeah, impressive. And you were talking about, these teams too also coming back off a break, and sometimes that has, things get a little rusty. Also, you get on a plane, you play in a strange environment. You could also be a little dehydrated, not only from the plane, but also from the desert. There's a lot of things going on here.
Grayville took the shot and drew the foul. Yesterday, by the way, raining. And I mean raining
I
here
heard that.
in Vegas.
Standing water on the road and stuff as I was driving in.
Looked like a storm I normally handle in, the mid-Atlantic part of the country.
I expect to, on the way out of here, on the flight, I expect to see, copious amounts of things blooming in the desert. That's my understanding of how it works.
It does.
Don't tell me if I'm wrong.
I also thought the ski resort about an hour or so from here probably was loving it. Another shot made, cuts the deficit to 8.
Actual moisture.
But I was told it was about only the 5th day it had rained in Las Vegas this year, and I went, well, that's about 5 times every 2 weeks. Where I'm very different. Oh, nice inside to Bior. Hits that jumper back out to 10. Quick movement by Bior allowed that one to fall.
Yeah, I mean, you need to be able to deny her the basketball, right? Because you're not going to be able to get someone up there to block it, and you're not going to be able to body her. So you just need to make sure you can't get it to her.
Yeah, agreed. Man defense, as both teams have been playing so far in this contest, under 7 minutes to play. Dave McHugh alongside Pat Coleman. Guan goes for 3, airballs it to the right. Just about to save it was Reiser. She hits it off of Dogs instead. I was just going to say, as good as Guan looked on that first shot that she took,
right,
the rest have not looked good, and not surprisingly, MSOE calls timeout. We will take it with them as well and give ourselves a chance for a break. You're watching the D3Hoops.com Classic. It's game 1 of the tournament. Back with more after this. And welcome back as we come out of the break. Full timeout. The only 2 timeouts called so far by the Raiders of MSOE.
Well, and needed here, I think, here in this early part of the third quarter. 1 of 4 from the floor, 0 for 3 from downtown. You know, the 2 foul shots, obviously, the 2 points that they've had. But on the opposite side, we were talking about the fact that it's really difficult to defend BR, and BR obviously limited in the first half by foul trouble. In this case, you know, 3 of 3 from the floor for the team for the half, and 2 of them are BR, and you just cannot allow her to have those uncontested looks at the basket.
Yeah, I can't say it better than that, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, thanks. That's why you have a. You're not. I know you're not accustomed to always having a color analyst when doing games.
It's like you got one at one place and not one at the other. It's a mixed bag, to be honest. I call Navy D1 games by myself, if you can figure that one out, and I call D3 McDaniel games with a color analyst. You figure that one out.
That's just because, you know, Stephanie loves you so much.
6:40 left to go here in the third quarter.
Well, it's just you calling those games. You can bring that Maine, that Bowdoin, that D3 to those Navy games.
I still don't know if she realizes it's me or not, is B or throws it away. We had a chat on the last game I did in post game. She challenged me. I made a comment about how the game started. Oh, yeah, I got the wrong graphic up. Thank you. And she didn't quite see it the same way as I did, which is always fun on camera. 6:23. Great to see her, though. Great. She's doing well at Navy, to say the least.
Yeah.
6:20 left to go here.
Stephanie Pemper, of course.
Stephanie Pemper, yeah, we should have filled that one in.
That's all right.
Former Bowdoin coach. Oh, rimmed in by Dogs.
That's for all of you Maine people watching.
Well, it's interesting because I talked about UNE. Their 2 losses this season are to the current number 1 and the current number 3, Tufts and Bowdoin.
Yeah.
So interesting, you know, tied in there. And there's a ball out of bounds. Oh, no. Our FAR official has a different opinion on that. And they will switch. Well, actually, our original call was getting switched anyway, staying with UNE. We do have our official names, Pat. I will try and call
better
them
than
up
unofficial
here in
names.
a minute. I do have them. We mentioned them earlier. Oh, Steele going the other way for 2.
Yeah, Reiser with the easy layup. And then another steal. Now she needs people to come back to her.
Gets it from Guan. Guan to Dogs, and it's deflected out of bounds. I'm going to say it again. 2 timeouts called by Coach Trees. They have gone on runs out of it. This one now on a, what was it, a 4-0, 5-0 run. They were on a 9-0 run last time. So she clearly gets results.
Well, and a lot of energy right there out of the timeout, too. And that's something you need when you're trying to come back from 10 down. That's a shot that does not fall right there for Reiser, but could not get it in.
Tim Resch is our lead official. He's the one who just ran past our broadcast position on the near side. Gary Horkey's on the baseline, and Vince Christosic is on the far side. I believe I said Christosic's name right. Christosic, Vince Christosic. Guys we know, except for Tim. He's new to our experience. Oh, inside of, not to Bior, that is Krenzer, and she missed the layup at a jump ball, and that will go to confirm to UNE.
Yeah, Bior not on the floor right now.
Yeah, Bior. The problem is Bior and Krenzer look similar with the ponytail.
Sure. And
I think knee brace is the only difference that Bior has, so sometimes I've gotten them backwards. 5:15 left. Inside, nice spin move, and earned that basket did Sanborn. Of course, every time I think of Sanborn, I think of Tyler Sanborn, the Guilford great.
Sorry, I think of him as the Ferrum head coach.
Oh, that's right, Ferrum's head coach. I still think of him as the basketball player.
Yeah, but now he's like 36 years old.
Yeah, I know. I really should.
3 ball on the way.
Guan buries that one, and MSOE has gone on a tear. An 8-0 run to cut it to 2. Or 4. I had it wrong. Sorry.
8-2 run.
8-2 run now because I missed a basket.
Right, but that's well, that's why.
Still.
Yeah, again, I think it's energy. Energy is important.
Geez.
But it's you got someone's got to step up and defend the baseline on the other end, right?
Chap it with a good dribble display there. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's tough, right? You have this thin bench, right? You don't have the ability to really keep fresh bodies in the game. You have to come out strong at the beginning of the half, but you have to figure out a way to do that in the fourth quarter because you couldn't do it in the second.
Right. Dogs kick this side. Graybold.
Yeah.
Banks home the 3.
Bank open late in Las Vegas.
They were 1 for 10 for threes going into that timeout. They have certainly improved that stat tremendously in the last couple. Long 3. That one buried by Connors as we've suddenly gotten into a 3-point war. 44-38 the lead for the Nor'easters. Gravel looking good on what was thought to be an injured ankle. Gets it to Dogs. Dogs in, gets body contact, no call. Gets the rebound, puts it back.
I mean, that is something that they've not had, right? We haven't talked a lot about second chance points, and MSOE had a few of them in the first half, but you can definitely see where they were struggling inside because of some of their height issues.
Turnover as Anthony Ewing, talking to the official, thought there should have been a call on the far other baseline. Kind of glad there wasn't a call. I thought it was more of a dressed up fall to the floor. Guan drives. She got hacked, and that will be called, as that will go against Grenzer.
MSOE's made its last 3 from beyond the arc.
Grenzer's third.
UNE's made its last 2.
Yeah, by the way, love our live stats. Yeah, I love this system. Sorry, cheating, behind the scenes stuff.
That's all right. I wish we had them in the Presto system too.
Wish we had it in the NCAA tournament. Anyway, missing the first free throw there is Guan, the Taipei, Taiwan native. Love to know the story of how she got to Milwaukee School of Engineering.
Well, I would think the engineering school would probably
be part of it, sure.
Would attract people from all over the place. I'm actually kind of surprised that the basketball roster is so, insularly located.
Yeah,
that's not a word.
Fair point. Especially considering schools like RHIT and RIT and MIT, who certainly draw from all over.
Right.
Missed shot by Chappett. Missed jumper by Grenzer, who's playing with 3 fouls. Long toss out, three-pointer, that's going to miss near side. Somehow Connors a rebound and puts in an acrobatic reverse layup.
Well, if Connors hadn't caught that rebound, it might have hit her in the face. That was a line drive off of the rim that just happened to hit right in the right spot.
46-40 the lead. Game 1 of 2 today.
Yeah, this is easy.
It's like I misread the schedule.
You didn't even need me to show up today.
Well,
I could have spent one more day at home.
You could have. 2-pointer by Guan is no good. So Guan will hit one and then will miss a handful. And I'm not sure what happened over there.
Well, it was just
Sanborn.
It was an impressive display of Sanborn just hanging on to the basketball.
Connors on the skip pass. Skipped again. Chappett thought about 3, didn't get it in her hands right. Down to 13 on the shot clocks. MSOE responding to skip passes pretty well. Down to 8, less than 2 in the quarter. Connors lobs it inside. What a pass to Sanborn. And suddenly lead back out to 8. Just MSOE again makes these nice runs out of timeouts and then just cannot withstand that energy. And UNE is able to expand from there.
Right, and Sanborn's not huge, right? She's only 5'9", but that ball was in the right spot for her.
Dogs will battle, that's for sure. She gets that one for 2. 85 seconds left. We have another team here. Can't tell who that is.
Where?
Oh, it's George Fox in attendance. I recognize now their new head coach.
If we were to turn around, if we were to turn the camera around or pan it down, you'd see them.
I'd be worried, yeah.
But don't do that, please. Thank you.
Bounce pass. Grenzer spin with 7 on the shot clock. Jump ball. That will be a turnover. Going back to the Raiders. And the Raiders respond with 1 sub. UNE responds with 3. And that's basically indicative right there of just the bench scenarios.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It is Samantha Brown going to the bench.
I'll say this. MSOE might be 4-4, but they play hard. And if they had a few extra players, they might be a team to watch out of that central region. That you don't, we're stuck on the WIAC and the CCIW.
Right, well, it certainly can make some noise in the neck, right?
Absolutely. Bravold with it. I'm glad to see she's okay. Lobbed, forced the pass, but somehow still gets there. No. Then forcing the shot was Valley.
All right, she's gonna go to the line, and that's the best possible outcome for MSOE because that is, you said it. They forced the pass, and then she forced the shot. She was underneath it, hit the bottom of the backboard. There was an open player out in the wing, and that's where that basketball needed to go.
Agreed. 39.5 ticks left in this third quarter. The men's teams are a little bit eager to get on the floor. They weren't supposed to get out there for 50 minutes to start anyway.
They understand it's a 4-quarter game, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Hit the first, cuts the deficit to 5, looking for 1 more. Missed it. And both teams struggling for the free throw line in this game.
Nice box out there by Conies and gets UNE the basketball.
Chappett with it. She gets it to Nelson. Nelson looking for options. Kick out. 3 on the way. No good from Nicholas, apologize. Strong rebound from Valley. Valley, though, harassed in the backcourt, finally gets it to Guan somehow. Guan's going to come across the timeline. 10 seconds left on the game clock for the quarter. No shot clock. Guan's going to drive in, tries to bounce past the Valley, somehow gets it. 3 from Dogs, no good. And that will draw us to the end of the third quarter.
Well, Dogs definitely feeling it there. She had 7 points in the third quarter, but and 1 for 2 from beyond the arc, 3 for 6 from the floor. Pretty good quarter for her, and it's a 5-point ball game. And did the lighting just change?
No, it's the scoreboard.
Oh,
sir.
When the scoreboard goes off of
there you go.
Of the shot on the floor, it's much less bright.
Yes, it is.
And it changes in here. Wow.
We'll take a break, come back, get you the last 10 of this contest. UNE leads MSOE 48-43. Welcome back as we get ready for fourth quarter action here. Pat, it's not football season anymore.
I can still hold up 4 fingers, can't I?
No, I'm having fun with you. I do know teams that do that. As we get ready for the fourth quarter.
That was the actual reason I said that.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what exactly.
Just trying to be subtle.
Wow, our PA announcer is revved up for the fourth quarter.
It's impressive.
I give him credit. I give him credit.
We'll see if he does that in Game 16.
No fair. UNE's got the ball. Oh, good idea trying to get it to Nelson, but went past her and right into another turnover. And these two teams have now combined for a total of 26 turnovers.
It's a lot.
UNE's turned it into 17 points, and MSOE's turned it into 9.
Well, that was only 6 in that quarter then.
Yeah. There's actually a cleaner corner as Guan will be fouled on the shot there by Connors, and she walks away frustrated. So Guan will go to the line to shoot the free throws. 0 for 2 so far. Shot good. Cuts the deficit to 4. MSOE keeps getting within striking distance. They actually, on that 9-0 run, took a 1-point lead. It's the only lead they've had in this game.
Back at the end of the first quarter.
Yep. But they keep making these runs.
Right, exactly. It's just a matter of maintaining that intensity a little bit because they play with a little bit of extra energy when they're and that that fuels the run, right? The fire kind of fuels that run, but they need to figure out a way to sustain that for 40 minutes.
Into the corner, 3-pointer on the way, buried.
2.
Oh no, 2. Apologize, I got confused with the lines.
First bucket on the night for Nicholas.
I forget the deeper line is a 3. Oh, yep, a little extra step by Guan, trying to pull off a Euro step with an extra step. Doesn't count.
Well, I was going to say, Dave, I don't know if you know this, but the outer line is red and the inner line is black, just if that helps you.
Black and light black.
Right.
Go that way.
Exactly.
And Connors dribbled in. We're going to get a tie-up, and that's going to go back to MSOE. It goes back to MSOE. I didn't change it on our scoreboard because I got confused at halftime. So we'll keep it on our scoreboard the way it is. 8:48 left to go here. It's the fact that we have now multiple three-point lines in the college game. The D1 men have one line. D1 women have the same one as D2 and D3 for both genders. Just adds confusion.
Yeah.
Missed shot there by Valley.
It'd be nice to have the playing rules a little more unified.
Yeah. I was also told, I believe, well, pass inside.
But good job. I mean, they tried to deny the entry pass. Valley knocked it out of bounds, but they did not let Coney's have an easy shot.
I was told, I think one of the changes this year, and I think it was to the three-point line, was not supposed to go into effect this year, but it got forced anyway. As the shot inside is good from Coney's. 52-45 now the lead.
That's Nelson.
Oh, you're right. It was Nelson.
Nelson's got the half black left sleeve.
Good way to remember, yeah. Nice inside. Valley, you know what? You forget about Valley. She will get that ball and put it up, as she just did, just when you take her eye off of her.
Yep, 7 points on the night for her.
7:50 left to go here in the game. Nelson kick out. Three-pointer on the way from Chappett off the iron. No good. Chappett chasing. Keeps it in, but well done by Gravold to hold on to that. Gravold is acting like she never went down with an ankle injury.
It's been the UNE in the second half done a much better job rebounding, but they haven't had great shot selection, and that one was just exactly the same sort of thing right there. Long shot, not a great look. This time they were not able to come up the board, and that's why MSOE has it.
Gravold with the drive and left the layup short. 52-47 your score.
Yeah, that's those sorts of buckets you need, obviously. Kind of goes without saying, but I said it.
Deep three. Jeez, Connors nearly hit that from NBA range.
Yep, but again, she's open, obviously, but you leave people open out there for a reason.
True. The chances of that shot going are slim and none.
And again,
timeout, MSOE, you're saying?
And again, they did not get that rebound.
So MSOE calls their third timeout. It's a lengthy one, so we'll take it as well. You're watching the D3Hoops.com Classic 10th Annual here from Las Vegas. Welcome back, as we've got 6:55 left to go here in the fourth quarter, coming out of the timeout by MSOE. They're the only ones who called timeouts so far today, and they've done well usually coming out of those timeouts. We'll see how it plays for Coach Trees' team here.
Rebounding advantage big for UNE here in the second half has definitely helped them maintain this lead. They've out-rebounded the Raiders by a total of 13-5 after halftime.
Ooh, interesting moment there for Reiser, but holds on to the ball. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Guan coughs it up on the drive. Wide open was Dogs in the corner.
9th turnover for Guan tonight.
6:33 remaining. And out of bounds, it will stay UNE possession. Did you say 9th turnover?
For her, yes. 21st for the team. 20th for the team.
Chappett has 5. There's a foul called on the shot. And it's a shot by Connie's.
9 of them and 3 in the second half.
Yeah, Guan struggled in the second half, but then first half, but then started the second half with a turnover. If you weren't tuned in for it, on the inbound play, the first free throw is good. On the inbound in front of us, gets the ball at the center line, changes feet to attack. But because she had caught it in the front court, her back foot went into the back court, and it was a turnover right out of the gate.
Yeah, that's not how you want to start.
Don't see it very often, that's for sure. She looked perplexed. I referenced it like someone on the sideline losing track of where the sideline was, doing the same thing. 7-point lead here for UNE as we approach 6 minutes to play.
I'm pretty sure it's the same size as your gym back in Hickory.
Yes. Gravold with a great slice and dice, but cannot hit the layup.
Oh, just couldn't get the finish. Nice move, though, right?
Especially on a bad ankle.
Right. Apparently not.
No,
apparently not a bad ankle anymore.
Yeah, the ice worked.
Nice baseline move. Yes. Rest, ice, compression, and elevation.
Slight elevation.
Very slight.
Technically, you're supposed to go above the heart, but whatever. Details, 10 seconds.
We're at least like 1,000 feet above sea level, right?
Yep. Nice feed inside. Chappitt with the layup.
21 on the night for her.
9-point lead for UNE. Their biggest has been 10.
Chappitt making an early play for the all-tournament team.
I was going to say, we can get that one out of the way early.
Maybe. We'll see. Have to see how she does in the other game as well.
Against George Fox, that'll be a different conversation.
Probably.
Kick out. Gravold. She feeds it to Reiser. Reiser to Dogs. Dogs uses Reiser's screen, but then gets a bad matchup there with Nelson on her. Forces it anyway. Almost went in. Valley gets the rebound. Feeds Reiser with a new shot clock reset to 20. So they'll reset the offense. Guan with 5 minutes to play in the game. Tries to feed. That one was well read by Cavallero. She's going the whole way. Valley disrupts her, but she still lays it in. Biggest lead of the game, UNE by 11.
What do you think about the new resets? Do you think it's making a difference?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously.
More possessions.
Right. I mean, that, for example, they got a fresh 20. It wasn't until they took another 9 seconds just to reset their offense and didn't have a lot of time to play with after that.
And so, one, I think it keeps teams from slowing the game down too much, which we know, I actually have had coaches, as Gravo will take a seat here, and into the game comes Lexi Maruga, and on the line is Dogs. I've actually had coaches say, well, it takes 20 seconds for us to run our offense, and I just kind of look at them like, wait, what?
So it would be time to change your offense.
Well, what basketball offense needs to take 20 seconds to run? I mean, how many cuts do you need to make? So I have seen more possessions, especially late in games. I still am of the adage that, if the defense can't get the rebound, why are you taking 10 seconds away from the offense? But I don't mind the rule, the way it's been advocated and played out. 58-49 the lead here for UNE. Passing side. Oh, great block by Maruga. And so MSOE's got another chance here to cut into this lead as St. Scholastica must have been hiding somewhere behind us because they have just started to flow. Usually you go to the locker room, which they're now headed to now. You can't see them on camera, but it's distracting me. Also in a sea of blue.
Well, better than a sea of red or something.
Fair.
Nobody wants that. St. Scholastica from Duluth, Minnesota. Central from Pella, Iowa. Coming here to Las Vegas, Nevada. They'll play next on a different stream. If you have tuned in early, I don't quite know how you manage that, but thanks for watching this game.
That's a good point.
It's difficult to do that.
No good.
You'd have to actively click the wrong link, but that's fine.
Or
welcome.
Click the Twitter one. Oh, almost stolen. MSOE trying here. Layup, no good as a forced shot there by Nicholas. MSOE gets it back. We're stuck at 58-49. Dogs, the only problem with MSOE is that right there. Somehow Dogs gets it back, misses the layup. They're getting out of the offense. Players are just going down trying to do everything one-on-one, and they got to run their stuff.
Well, and Gravold's checking back in.
Yeah. The Dogs has done that a few times. Guan has certainly done that numerous times. Bounce pass inside, kick out. Thought about the three was Chappitt. She loses the ball.
Get picked.
It's coming the other way by Reiser. Reiser batted by Chappitt, and it'll no foul go out of bounds. It'll be UNE ball.
Reiser actually did a great job out here at the perimeter, stealing the ball from Chappitt. Unfortunately, just didn't have what it took at the end of it in order to finish and come up with the basket.
3:06 remaining here in the game. UNE's got the lead, 58-49. The Nor'easters looking to start this one with a win and keep their winning streak intact. It's at 2 right now. Chappitt drives in, off glass and in. Biggest lead again at 11 at 60-49.
23 points tonight, 9 of 12 from the floor. Also 7 rebounds, also 5 assists.
Had a good game. Reiser with it. Feed inside, just too far for Dogs to handle, but gets lucky that it goes off of a Nor'easter hand and will reset.
Yep, over the hands, the outstretched hands of Reiser, but it hit off of Sanborn.
2:37 remaining. Gravold will inbound it. She's got Valley, Reiser, Dogs, and Maruga on the floor.
Need a bucket here, and they did not get it, but maybe they'll get a shot here at the foul line. 2:34 to go, and obviously down by 11, and able to occasionally put some points on the board in spurts right? But need to start doing that now in order to get this game back within shouting distance.
One more foul, and MSOE will be in the double bonus. Shot is good. Nothing but net. Cuts it to 10. 2:34, as we mentioned, left to go. Again, coming up next, and looks like it's going to be about on time at 8 o'clock local time. It'll be Central versus St. Scholastica.
Late night here in Las Vegas. It's normal night here in Las Vegas. It's late night for everybody else in this tournament right now.
I'm surprised we didn't get any 10 o'clock games scheduled. We've had those in the past. They rough, man.
No, we haven't.
We haven't? I thought we had a 10 to 10 day once.
I don't. If so, I have desperately blocked it out. That would be 7 games in a day.
Yeah, I thought that was our record. Dogs, despite adversity, fires it up and misses it. She had a defender flashing at her.
She struggled. 6 of 20 from the floor, 2 of 8 from beyond the arc here tonight.
And a lot of them where she's driven in and forced an issue and not been bailed out. Oh, I have the wrong score. I apologize. 60-51 is the official score. Fixed it. University of New England. Can't just say New England, as there is New England College. Chaput misses the 3.
If this is UNE.
Looking good out here today.
Yeah.
Not great. They got to clean it up because Guan comes back into the game replacing Valley. They got to clean it up. They got to not turn it over as many times as they have done so far today, which is totaled 21. Both teams combined for 42 turnovers in this contest. They got to clean up the ball if they want to take on George Fox with any kind of competition. And MSOE, I mean, listen, considering the challenges they face, including losing Gravold for much of the second quarter, they look pretty good, as that'll be a traveling violation. His hit in the deck was Chaput after the rebound.
Yeah, you were talking about, how UNE got to 7-2, and that's with obviously 7 wins. And losses to Tufts and Bowdoin, who are, yes, 2 very highly ranked teams.
1 and 3
right now. But a 31-point loss to Tufts and a 26-point loss to Bowdoin. So
very
there's
similar
a
games.
lot of room in between.
Right.
For them to fill where they fit.
Missed 3-pointer by Dogs again.
Riser Chaput
holds on to the ball, and she'll get fouled by Riser underneath. That's team foul number 3, or 2, I apologize. Scoreboard updates quicker than I'm used to. I'm waiting. I'm so used to the long delay before a scoreboard is updated. This one is quick. I don't mind it. 70 seconds left.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to trust it.
Yes. Chaput, stop, go, turn, nope, nothing there. Ball loose. Gravold with the hauls down the rebound.
Under a minute.
I bet you she and her brother had some battles in their youth.
He's significantly older, so that would be interesting.
Still, Gravold just absolutely got it walloped by Sanborn. Sanborn out of Lyndonville, Vermont. It is beautiful and white in much of New England, though I'm not sure in Biddeford, being so close to the coast in southern Maine. Gravold for 2. We were talking earlier, Pat. I did get a weather report in Down East Maine. Maybe that's about when you came in.
Yeah,
ice storm, at least in Down East. I don't know if it worked its way all the way down to Biddeford or not. Either way, good to get out of Dodge. 60 to
Dodge is in
51.
Kansas.
Yeah, fair point. Missed both.
Travel on the offensive rebound.
Huh.
All right.
Great rebound by Riser. Unfortunately, didn't go her way. Oh, Chaput with a heck of a catch coming across the middle. Almost looked like a wide receiver going up for that one.
You're the one making all the football references.
Yeah, I just felt like I just wanted to fit in. Pat, last time he called a game, it was football.
That's right. I'm just keep waiting for the play clock to reset.
Found the backcourt by Riser.
And I'm very confused by all the up and down motion on the floor here.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have said field.
Don't worry.
Over there on the left hash.
But
the reason we're talking about now,
another foul as we're working our way to the double bonus, which we've now officially hit.
Right, exactly. The reason we're talking a little bit about Brady Gravold is the guy who's a D3Football.com All-American in 2014. Which stands as still the last year that University of Wisconsin Whitewater won a Stag Bowl, which is the championship game in NCAA Division III
Forgot
football.
about that, yeah. Thought they had a chance. I thought it'd be close this year.
They did have a chance. They played in the game.
Yeah.
And that's a requirement
True.
for winning the
I
game.
thought it'd be close. It wasn't.
Many of us thought it would be. It was indeed not.
Timeout called. We'll keep it here. MSOE calls their penultimate timeout. It's a full one, but we'll still keep it here with 42.7 ticks left. Yeah, quickly on the Stag Bowl. I like North Central. I don't think Keith McMillan believed me, but I did like them to beat Mount Union. No one seems to understand that, but
it's easier when you say that in advance, right?
Well,
I couldn't
sure.
even say that publicly in advance. The way that I showed that I thought it was possible that North Central could beat Mount Union was by getting on a plane and going to Canton, Ohio.
That's a good point. When you went to that game, I remember thinking in the back of my head, well, that's an interesting game for Pat to go to in round number 2.
Right. I do not usually
He
go to
doesn't
Mount
go
Union
usually
in the second round.
Number 2. That was certainly a good hint. But congratulations to North Central. I think I gave the Amherst women a bit of a start today as Larry Radloff and I got on the elevator from my floor. There were a few Amherst women's basketball players on. At the time, I was wearing my D3 men's soccer shirt from this year.
Oh, okay.
Which has Amherst plastered on the back. And I noticed a couple of them all of a sudden just kind of start looking at each other. I didn't feel like going, yes, I was there. Called the soccer championships for the 4th year in a row.
One of the things I love about the MSOE roster and a lot of the other engineering schools is that they list your major on the roster as well. So Graybold majors in UX, which I can only assume is user experience. I'm hoping.
I bet you're right.
Michaela Dogg's mechanical engineering.
Come on, camera.
Samantha Brown, bio.
There we go.
Mechanical engineering, BIOE, whatever that means. It's not something I have.
I think it's biochemical.
I majored in a humanity.
Ooh. Somehow thrown in the corner 3. If that had gone, that would have been incredible. Reiser is all over the floor battling for the ball.
Would have gone. It would have been incredible. It would have been the first time that Dogs had gotten a shot to fall in a while.
Well, and Reiser somehow got it to her, and then somehow got in there for the tie-up on the rebound.
Nice pass, nice crisp pass.
And a foul in the backcourt, 5v5, as Reiser fouls Chappett. By the way, both teams a double bonus. We'll make that official. 27.5 seconds left.
4th for Reiser.
Now, so with one timeout, UNE has not called a timeout yet as Chappett hits it, and I don't expect one called here unless they need to get a sub in or something. They're not going to allow this sub as the sub was not ready to check in. By the way, that is, I will say, we talk about rules, Pat. The most confusing rule is a substitution on the free throw rule. The men now have a completely different rule than the women, and I have got, and score tables, even D1s, have gotten that wrong.
Perfectly glad not to be working a scores table right now.
We'll keep it here again as MSOE calls their final timeout. Yeah, the men on free throws now, they will not sub before the free throws. They will only sub in between the free throws.
Yeah.
Women now do
but
it
now
the
that
way,
hasn't changed, right? That sounds like the normal rule.
Well, no, they used to sub before the free throw. Oh, no, and then after. I'm sorry. So now, they've kind of rearranged it that it's only in the middle. And the women now have it beginning and end.
Yeah.
And I think literally he may have done that. He thought, oh, it's middle of the free throw. And no, that's the men's rule. It's all convoluted.
So if you're looking for more women's basketball action, come back tomorrow afternoon.
Why, yes, I am.
At 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, 10th ranked DeSales against 6th ranked Amherst. We're going to follow that with 9th ranked George Fox and 2nd ranked Scranton.
Forget the rest of the docket because that lineup's insane to start tomorrow.
Yeah, that is, you'll want to be, I would say you want to be here early. Neither of those is particularly early in any real time zone. So you got that.
We'll get a second here to comment. Dogs forces it yet again, gets her own rebound, throws it up, doesn't get it. Reiser gets the rebound, puts it up, doesn't get it. And finally, Maruga gets it, puts it up, and gets fouled.
Yeah, and reacts to gotten hit in the face.
Last year, the men's tournament, we had a great tournament, a lot of great NCAA tournament teams prior and then eventually in March. But I don't think we've had true NCAA tournament type games as we have in the first two tomorrow.
No, not even. And you remember, I think, you and I and Gordon Mann have had some discussions off the air, obviously, about, how do we elevate the women's basketball aspect of this tournament, right? As the second shot goes in. Because, we have ended up not having, we've had a lot of, there's 450 teams in Division III, right? And it's not an invitational. It is a y'all come tournament. So, we've been in a position where you don't necessarily have great matchups. Amherst has been here and not been able to get quality games. Tomorrow, we're going to give Amherst a quality game. We're going to give Scranton a quality game. I only wish we could give them a game against each other, but we don't always control all those things.
University of New England's going to end up winning against Milwaukee School of Engineering 63-52. UNE improves to 8-2 on the season. They may not be in the top 25, but they are certainly being considered. MSOE unfortunately falls to 4-5. MSOE will take on Emmanuel in their next contest. That will be coming up on Sunday. That'll be the 2 o'clock game local. And thank you. University of New England will follow that game against number 9 George Fox. So that both teams will get a day off and then take on their opponents respectively on Sunday.
Don't forget to keep an eye on all of our coverage from the D3Hoops.com Classic on the website, because we'll not only, of course, have these live broadcasts, you can follow it on Twitter, but we'll also have an interview with a participant or a coach from each of the 16 teams. That is going to happen.
Yes.
It's happened multiple years in a row, and I feel like it will happen correctly this year as well, so keep an eye out for that. There's lots of things to do here in Las Vegas, and some of them involve basketball.
By the way, Chaput finished with a game-high 26 points on 9 of 14 shooting, 2 for 4 from beyond the arc, 6 of 8 from the free throw line, and 11 rebounds, which was also a game high. Dogs led MSOE despite her struggles of 6 of 25 from the floor, 2 of 12 from beyond the arc, and 5 of 8 from the free throw line. She finished with 19 points. UNE shot 47% from the floor, 28% from deep, 67% from the free throw line. MSOE shot 30% from the floor, 21% from beyond the arc, and 4 of 19. There were 3 of 9 in the second half, and 62% from the free throw line. 44 turnovers. Both teams had 22 each. And UNE only ended up out-rebounding MSOE 35-31. And as your final score, we'll stop this stream in a moment. We'll get you ready for men's action coming up in about 20 minutes' time, 22, give or take. It will be Central versus St. Scholastica in the second and final game of the opening day of the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. For Pat Coleman, I'm Dave McHugh. We will see you back here for game number 2.